All right, got to bring you back. But good morning, Savannah and the Low Country. Good morning, sports fans. It's the coach, Karl DeMasi, in a nice, cool Coach's Corner restaurant, not outside in the Sound Garden, a little too hot. My man, the coach at AD, Chad Griffin, on the road. Hey, son throwing a little baseball today. I'd be where my son's at too. So once again, Chad, good morning. A great day. And remember, this is part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network, and it's all presented by Coach's Corner every week. Got to thank John Henderson for letting us do this. Hey, this is like our 19th or 20th show, so it's going strong. It's going good. Hey, good morning, Chad Griffin.
Great to be here, man. We're at Josh Redd Complex out here in Effingham, a little one-day SGA tournament. And it's a beautiful place. If you guys have never been up here to visit the rec facility, it is top-notch. Fields are full today, but everybody's doing a great job of social distance, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be hot today. But we got a little breeze right now, but a one-dayer is a long day. But glad to be here, man, and a lot going on. We got sports, and more sports back, Karl.
I mean, you say it. We got basketball, we got baseball, we got soccer, we got golf, we got hockey. I mean, everything's going full swing, and it's been a lot of fun. There's always something to watch. I stayed up late watching the Braves again, but you know what? It was worth it, and we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But who's on the show? Here's the lineup for the coach and the AD. First up, we're going to open up, talk about local sports or local issues that are going on here in Savannah, Georgia. Remember, it's all local, all sports, all the time on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report with the coach and AD. Second segment, about 9:15, we're going to bring on a doctor from Memorial Health, family practitioner, but he's got a lot of experience and knows a lot about what's going on COVID-19 with sports and kids. We're going to bring on Marty Sineath. Did I say it right?
Sineath.
Marty Sineath, Dr. Marty Sineath from Memorial Health. In the third segment, hey, it's the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete Week. This young man signed or committed to play football at Georgia State, the Panthers, up there in the ATL. Outstanding, all Savannah Morning News first team. Goes both ways, which is my type of lineman. He's a hog, plays defensive line, offensive line, and that's from Calvary Day School, rising senior Fuches Lewis. And then I'm waiting for this part. Fourth quarter, we're going to bring on the real owner of the Savannah Bananas. Okay, she's behind the scenes, but she does a lot. She's the boss in the stadium. She's the boss at home. We're going to have on Emily Cole. So not many people know that she is the co-owner. So, and she has a lot of experience in baseball, Chad.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, we're really looking forward to having Emily on. One, talk about female ownership in sports. And that's why I think we're all really excited about talking to her, how they got in this together. Once again, her background in baseball, but what is it like to be a female owner in sports? And also, what's her thought about female ownership and minority ownership and how that should be looked at within professional sports? Because we had Savannah Spirit on, earlier in July, and it's just great to see this women's movement within sports. It's been taken off, especially in soccer. You see it more prevalent than anything else. But now female ownership in other professional sports is tremendous.
And then we'll wrap it up. We'll go three steps out the door with the coach and AD. It's my turn to grill the AD. So got some interesting topics that we'll see about his baseball prowess, see what he knows about baseball. So, yeah, you better be ready.
Not as much as you, that's for sure.
First of all, okay, I grew up in New York. I've always had a sports figure on the radio. I started out with the Mad Dog, Mike and the Mad Dog, and we can go back to a couple of the older guys, ESPN, Charlie Steiner, Chris Berman, back, and so. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be hard for me Monday morning, and you're doing what this man preached. ESPN Radio will no longer have Mike Golick kicking off the morning from 6 to 10. 18 years of listening to Mike Golick. The man is genuine. The man is an athlete. Nobody thought an athlete could be a host of a radio sports talk show. He did a great job. He's going to go back in the booth where he started play-by-play or color analyst for ESPN on college football games, maybe even pro because he was a pro football player. Notre Dame, Irish. And then, of course, but it's going to be tough. He did a great job. And the reason why he stepped back from being a TV analyst, a color man, is because he wanted to watch his kids grow up. And he's the epitome of what a father is and how much sacrifice he did for his kids. And Chad, it's going to be strange. I like LJ. I mean, I'm going to listen, but it's not going to be the same. No Mike and Mike. No Mike and Golick and Wingo. No Mike and Mike, Junior Mike. But he's got a show coming on in the afternoon, so we'll see how that works out. But to Mike Golick, you did the right thing, buddy.
Yeah, man, it was we have just grown up. I mean, I'm 44 years old, but thinking about the last 18 years, it's been Mike and Mike Golick on there, and that transition that he made from professional athlete into the analyst into his talk show. And yeah, he kind of played the laughable guy early on, kind of the color sidekick, but his knowledge and depth of understanding where it was college athletics, professional athletics, and he just got it, and people gravitated to him. But also, like, I recorded their last show yesterday, and it was so emotional seeing the tears of his surrounded by his family. And that's the first they all talked about was just how he was such a family first, father first guy, that's why he did it, so he could watch his daughters and sons grow up. And it's just been phenomenal. What a great role model for us all to follow, and how to balance that work and do what that needed to do, but also take time, make sure we're with our families. And so, man, it's going to be tough turning on that ESPN dial and not hearing the Mike and Mike or Mike Golick and Wingo thing go on. But yeah, Mike Jr. is just as talented, man. He is funny. He is that new generation, and he's got some different perspective, but he's got that old school football feel to him as well. So yeah, looking forward to him. So some tradition will continue with Mike Jr.
All right, well, let's go. We've got 3 minutes to do this now. Georgia high school news, all sports start Monday. Volleyball, cross country, cheerleading, football's going to go into pads. A lot of issues going on. Liberty County postponing their extracurricular activities. Twiggs County shut down the whole extracurricular activities. So we're going to find out from Dr. Sineath. Did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
How it affects kids and how it's affecting our society, and why it might be safe for our kids to get back into a normal life because of their psyche, and of course, hopefully not getting any kind of physical illness. So we'll be talking about that. But a lot of news in Georgia high school.
Yeah, this is the first week we didn't get a medical advisory report yet, but we've been getting information from your representative. So if you were a volleyball, so Don Core's been setting that out. If it was football, Kevin Giddens has been sending those newsletters out. Same thing with cross country. So instead of a blanket email, you got several directly to those sports. Penny Mitchell, who's in charge of cheer, they've been doing a great job of communicating with each sport on what that looks like, what they can do, what they can't do, things of that nature. And yeah, so we're seeing an effect locally. You got Liberty County there, and me and you were talking before the show started. Does that mean, hey, softball games start on this week? Are they going to be able to play softball games? Are those postponed? Things of that nature. So a lot of unanswered questions here. Like we said last week, the cases went from 300 to 600. And I don't know if that's just more of people reporting it accurately, more than anything else is what you're seeing, because even the testing data is obviously up. I think we started to see a little bit of a plateau this week in the numbers within Georgia. But we also talk about, the mask policy that came out with the mayor and then, county commissioner the other day. So, hey, I think the biggest thing, if you're going to want to try to play sports, you got to continue to try. We all know you can't social distance in sports, but so much. And so it's more of a, hey, you got to opt-in type deal here.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about baseball. The Braves, I stayed up and watched the whole thing against the Mets. 4.5 innings, they're down 8-2. They cut it to 8-5. Then the Mets take a 10-5 lead. They cut it to 10-6. And in the bottom of the 8th, the Braves score 5 runs. Travis, let me get this right. Travis Arnett, how do we say his name? The catcher.
Arnado.
Travis Arnott. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
5 RBIs and they gets a clutch double. The Braves take the win. The bullpen holds on. What a great game to watch. I mean, I got to tell you what, though, Chad. Besides Soraka and Fried, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Braves starting pitcher. Newcomb, I mean, he got shelled. The reliever came in. Sinico, he got shelled, but the bullpen held on. The Mets bullpen didn't. Tyler Batcher, Calvary Day School, class of 11, got called up. I haven't seen if he's got any action yet. So the Mets bullpen is killing them. But you know what? Hey, the Braves did it.
Yeah, we'll take it. And here's a scary thing for everybody else is if Acuna ever gets going, if their top of their lineup get going, how scary is that? And that's the thing. He's batting, I think, 165, 170 right now. That's not going to be all season. That's not going to last for another, 50 games or whatever they got left. So if he starts stroking it, they're going to be really tough. And, you're right. We got to shore up the back end of the rotation outside of, Freed pitched amazing there tonight. He was still hitting high 90s in the 6th inning and looked as good as he's looked in his time in the Braves uniform. And so top rotation, very good. Got to shore up the back end and always – I know everybody jumps on the dumpster fire when it comes to Braves bullpen, but there's still, like we said, we're at the 10-game mark right now, and so 50 games to go, and that's what Karl and I talked about Wednesday. Hey, if it gets scary, we're going to know by the 20 games, we're going to kind of know where we're at. You got to have really things figured out by then.
Okay, pro football. We'll start with the professional sports first. Falcons reported at training camp. Rookies came in July 21st. Quarterbacks came in July 23rd with injured players. And then everybody else reported July 28th. We got a couple of COVID-19 cases reported by the Falcons already. There's no preseason games. The NFL and the NFL Players Association agreed upon it. First game is supposed to be September 12th versus the Seahawks. And the Mercedes-Benz Stadium said they're only going to hold 40% capacity for those games.
Oh, so 40, that's better than kind of what they said the other day. And right. So I thought originally it might be 20 because I know as a Panthers fan, my dad and I have had season tickets since the beginning. They said maybe 15 to 20% capacity most at Bank of America Stadium. And so I think 40's good. If they feel like they can do it, make it happen. I think all this, until they really get in there, Karl, and know what it's like. But, listen, you've had people in this NFL bubble coming in the last couple of days. And, listen, it's about can we keep the numbers down and not have a big ordeal. I don't know what happened with Miami Marlins. Now you're up to 20 people. And so something just did not go right there. And I think but if you've seen the rest of Major League Baseball, it's been a pretty good thing after that. So who knows what happened in that case?
Well, Manfred came out and said, you better watch what you're doing. So we'll see what happens with Major League Baseball. All right, Savannah Bananas went up the road, went up I-16, took on the Macon Bacon, lost 10-6. The Bananas are in second place behind the Macon Bacon, so they'll play tonight at Grayson Stadium. It was tied after 3 innings, and then the Bacon opened it up. Never gave up the lead. The Bananas scored 2 in the top of the 8th to make it an 8-6 game, but the Bacon scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th, so that's over. So tonight, Grayson Stadium, the Bacon taking on the Bananas in another food fight. Okay, pro golf, Harmon is off. PGA Champions Tour, Gene Sowers is back playing for the first time since March 8th. So he shot a 70. He shot a 72 yesterday at the Alley's Challenge in Grand Blanc, Michigan. He's tied for 75th, 3 over. So we'll see what happens. Savannah Clovers take to the road. They'll be up in Chattanooga, Tennessee tonight to finish the NISA Cup Challenge. They're 0-2. They'll be taking on the Georgia Revolution. This will probably be their last match of the season. So Savannah Clovers did a great job. Tormentor is home tonight at Irk Russell Park. They're taking on the Orlando City B team in the United States Soccer League, League 2 League. I know there's 5,000 different leagues, and we're not going to get into that because we got to get out of here. But 8 o'clock, and it's also on ESPN Plus. So if you have a subscription to ESPN Plus, you can watch Tormentor play tonight.
Yeah, man. So a lot of soccer going on, wrapping up. And then it's just, with the COVID thing, man, we're just going to, like we tell every athletic director, every parent, every sport, hey, we're just going to go week to week and do day by day, and that's the best we can do, Karl.
All right. Well, next up, we're going to go a little further into COVID-19, how it relates to sports. And we got a doctor coming in from Memorial Health. He's a family practitioner, but I think he knows a little bit about the virus. And that's Dr. Marty Sineath. Sineath. Okay, I'll get it. Like sinus, we say Sineath, okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, Doc. I'll get it straight before the end of the show. But anyway, you're listening to the Coach NEAD right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network on the Karl DeMasi Sports Board, live from Coach's Corner on Victory Drive. And he's our Coach's Corner is our presenting sponsor. Well, we got to thank our other supporters, and we'll be right back in about 3 minutes after this. Hang on, Chad. We'll be right back. Doc, stay in that waiting room. We'll be right back to talk to you.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running. And it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pump food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the Covid-19 pandemic. They are now open for dining, lunch, and dinner. But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. And don't forget, Saturday night in the Sound Garden, it's the Beer for My Horses Toby Keith Tribute Show. Tickets are almost sold out and are priced between $20 and $35. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's has got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And it's the coach and the AD. Good morning, good Saturday morning. I'm glad you could join us. Like I say every show, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hey, we're always having a lot of fun on the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. And remember, it's presented by Coach's Corner on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're on Facebook Live, Karl DeMasi Sports Report, Coach's Corner Facebook Live. We're on Twitter at KD Sports Report. We're on YouTube on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report channel. And it's here every Saturday morning talking all local, all sports, all the time. All right, well, we're talking about COVID-19. We had a couple of schools drop. We had a county, Twiggs County, drop their extracurricular activities. We also had Liberty County yesterday say that they're going to stop or postpone all extracurricular activities. So there's a lot going on. This next guest, Dr. Marty Sineath. There we go, Sineath. Dr. Marty Sineath. Okay, we got to get Chad back. We lost him there for a second. So he's back. Talk about what's going on. He gave a lot of advice to some local schools about how to handle it. Chad, talk about Dr. Sineath. Can you hear me now? Chad, can you hear me now? All right. Well, joining us now on the Coach's Corner Internet stream, Dr. Marty Sineath. Doctor, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, very good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, you know, what's going on right now, and, we're all worried about it. We're all worried about our kids going back to school, our kids playing sports, watching what's going on with professional sports. I mean, it's been really a scary moment for a lot of parents, a lot of coaches, a lot of teachers, a lot of administrators. So Tell us how'd you wind up in good old Savannah, Georgia?
Yeah, right. Thanks for asking. Originally from Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, he's got the Citadel shirt on.
There you go. I just wanted to represent my my alma mater. And then I went to med school at MUSC in Charleston, spent some time in the Air Force after that for about 12 years. Did my family medicine residency training in Savannah at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. Did my sports medicine fellowship with the military up in the DC area, and eventually realized it was time to get a little closer to home. Finished my time in the military, and we love being on the coast here in Savannah. Been here for about 4 years now. I'm at Memorial Health on the faculty at the family medicine residency there, and the sports medicine fellowship director. So enjoy being here. Happy to be here.
Now, I heard sports medicine director. What does that entail with your profession in Memorial Health in the Savannah area?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, thanks for asking. So family medicine doctors, after they get done with their residency training, can do a year of fellowship training in non-operative sports medicine that focuses on the care of the athlete. An athlete is loosely defined. That could be a 5-year-old playing soccer with his t-ball team. It could be, with his soccer team. It could be a professional athlete, or it could be grandma just wanting to go out for a walk with her grandkids.
Yeah, so it encompasses the whole thing. Anybody can be an athlete. You just don't have to be playing sports. So
that's right.
Realize that. So you're over at Memorial Health University Medical Center. COVID-19 pandemic. How has it affected people? And especially, I want you to get into how is it affecting our athletes, our students?
Right. Well, as you know, Carl and Coach, it has certainly gripped our nation, and there's a lot of different opinions as to what's right and wrong to do. And I feel like as we extend grace to different counties and different localities and different schools as to the methods they take to protect their kids, the reality is I think everybody wants to protect their students, protect their athletes, and do what they feel to be the right thing as they're trying to adhere by local guidelines or state guidelines or national guidelines. But thankfully, we've got CDC guidelines out there. We've got the Georgia Public Health guidelines. We've got the American Medical Society of Sports Medicine that puts out guidelines for how to protect kids. And each of the different counties and schools are trying to do what they feel is best based upon putting together a plan for their teams, for their students, for their classes.
Coach, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you now. So Dr. Sineath, in talking about that, I know there is a delicate balance in the world of athletics right now. You're seeing it in professional sports. You're seeing it in college sports. You're seeing it definitely in high school sports, like Karl and I talked about. Liberty County and Twig, due to some cases within coaching staff or players, we're having to send everything to Georgia high school. Their parents and even our staff, we just got to do it day by day, and we got to do what we think is in the best interest of student athletes. And protocols, like you said, they're in place. And that's why I try to remind people. I mean, I don't think any athletic director or any coach is under some, wishful thinking that they're not going to be impacted by this at some point. In saying that, how do you feel about, sports in general getting back, and especially, for kids that have been out of school since March, the mental well-being of them to have some normalcy? How does that balance and play out to where, playing sports, getting to school, but try doing it in a way that, we all know there's limited social distance in athletics and for most sports. And how do you balance all that, with getting the perspective of safety? How do you, I know this is unknown, but how would you advise people to navigate those roads?
Well, I want to be real clear here from the beginning to say this is not the category of choosing risk versus no risk. That is, if people are thinking that category, they're thinking in the wrong categories, because anytime we're playing sports, there's always some risk. And anytime you're not playing sports, you're going to be doing something else, and there's risk with that too, okay? So we're trying to minimize risk in a way that seems to be safest for the kids, whether COVID is here, whether COVID is not here. It's not like all of a sudden the coaches and administrators are like, oh, we have to start thinking about risk now. This is just a particular circumstance where we have to take risk mitigation procedures to do what's best for the kids. So now not playing sports is also a big risk with that, okay? all of us used to be young men years ago. We're not as young as we used to be, but to give young men too much isolation, too much idle time is never a good thing, right? Which is the wonder and majesty, I think, of one of the things about sports is you put people in a team environment and teach them all those character traits and skills that are needed, okay? I only say that about young men because usually girls got their act together more than fellas do, okay? We know they play sports. They do a great job too, okay? So please don't take that out of context as I'm saying that for whoever's listening, all right? So the reality is that this is not a no risk versus risk situation. I feel like we have to try and maintain as much normalcy as we can in ways that make sense for our local expression of sports and school and whatever that's going to look like in this COVID era that we have right now.
And you're listening to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live on Facebook, YouTube, on Twitter. It's the Coach and the AD every Saturday morning live from the Coach's Corner Soundgarden, but I'm staying inside tonight. I'm inside Coach's Corner. There's no food yet. Coach Kevin Brown, I didn't get those good wings yet. I'm still waiting for it. Coach and the AD are grubbing for food. And, of course, Chad Griffin joining us. We're talking to Memorial Health University Medical Center, Dr. Marty Sineath, and he's talking about COVID and how it affects our youth. All right, so as far as the National Federation of High School Studies come out, extracurricular activities, we see a lot of kids being more successful. As being a doctor, and you want to advise coaches or administrators, what advice would you give them to protect our athletes and our students that are going to go back to school or are going to go to practice?
Yep, follow local guidelines as much as you can. Use hand sanitizer, social distance as much as you can in the context of sports. Use face coverings as much as you can within the context of sports. If someone's actively exercising, it's probably not a good idea to be wearing a face covering. In fact, the AMSSM, the AAP have recommendations that if you're actively exercising, if you're underwater, if you have some kind of protection on that could get caught, not to wear the face mask. However, in circumstances where you can wear it. In circumstances where you can socially distance, do that. In circumstances where you can use hand sanitizer, use that, especially after you've used common equipment. Like if you've been buddying up with a football next to someone or a basketball next to someone, whenever you have an opportunity to do that, hand sanitizer. I mean, taking precautions that are appropriate and make sense within the context of the sporting activity.
Yeah, follow up with that, Dr. Sineath. I texted you a question yesterday because one of our thoughts from our Region 3A schools, which is us, Savannah Christian, Country Day, St. Vincent, and Aquinas, is to play athletics or to have people on campus for athletics. We feel like as a region, we want to require face coverings. When you come on campus, you come into, the whether it's the football stadium, softball field, definitely inside for volleyball, require a face covering. And my question was, is there a health issue that is prominent that someone might come into our game and say, hey, I can't wear a face covering? And then you responded with a really good answer. So if you'll just let people know what was your answer to that, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, perfect. So Coach's question was for spectators in regards to face coverings. And the current recommendation is, yes, spectators should wear face coverings according to those guidelines I was talking about earlier. And then as much as you can socially distance to 6 feet, do that as well. And then the question was, well, are there certain conditions where a spectator maybe should not wear a face covering? And there are certain conditions that would make it more difficult, whether it's a lung condition or heart condition that would make that more difficult wearing the face covering. However, the caveat to that would be that if someone is so medically ill that they're having trouble wearing the face covering, then there's the high likelihood they probably shouldn't be putting themselves in that exposure environment to be around so many people. But once again, that's an opinion. People are going to, do what they would like to do in that context, but that just seems to be the case from my experience.
Well, and that's what.
Go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, and that's what we were discussing. You're exactly right. Is hey, if you're that compromised anyhow, you probably, whether it's our guidelines, but especially CDC and health guidelines explicitly say, if you have any of these underlying conditions, if you can't do these things anyhow, you're really not supposed to be, out and about. And I know that's our biggest thing is like, families will want to come out of the woodworks to watch their student athletes play, but this will go by requirement. And if you can't meet the requirement and try to help our student athletes participate safely and watch, then, hey, you're not going to be able to come in. And it's great to have another medical opinion that kind of enforces that as well. Like I said, we wanted some guidelines, and we felt that we didn't want to limit it where there's regions where they're not going to allow students to come to athletic events. They're going to limit capacity tremendously. And we didn't feel like we were ready to do that as a region yet. But we also said, hey, things are fluid. But, hey, if you're not wearing a face covering or you can't keep it on while you're there, we're just going to ask you not to be there.
It's a tough situation. Okay, to wrap this up, because we got to get our next guest is waiting in the broadcast booth, the waiting broadcast booth. But Dr. Sineath, so I know it's going to be a tough question. How long do you foresee that we're going to have a vaccine? And I agree with the scientific method. You got to test something, and you got to test it for a period of time to see if it's going to work. You just can't say, hey, take this drug, take that drug, see what happens. Your expertise, do you see it in a month? Do you see it in 3 months? Do you see it in 6 months? How long before we get something that can fight this deadly virus?
5 months and 24 days, 17 minutes and 32 seconds. That's a good question. I'm not sure, though. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Is that vague enough for you? I apologize.
No. That's great. But, I mean, let's quickly. I don't agree with what somebody's saying about take this drug, take that drug on a national scale. But Dr. Fauci, you got to use the scientific method, don't you?
Yeah, hopefully it will go through the proper channels to ensure safety and then effectiveness on a small scale that then can be brought onto a larger scale, the way that we do with normal drug testing and approvals. But hopefully that would be expedited also. Yeah.
Chad, you got one more for the doc?
No, we just appreciate your opinions and expertise and what you do in the community. In general, I know you guys have been on the front line with this back in, as early as February into March, and the world has changed exponentially. But just to have medical opinions and disseminate information is always great for all of us. Thanks so much for taking the time this Saturday morning and coming on. And as any updates come about, we'd love to have you back and get your thoughts.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. My final thought would be, we have the grace to not live in fear. We can live in faith in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who rules and reigns over all things, including COVID. That doesn't mean we're reckless, but it means we can trust in the Lord and his grace.
Amen, brother.
You got that right. Hey,
cool. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on. And I got a young man that's attending, Chad knows him very well, attending the Citadel, Javante Middleton. We got to hook you up with this guy because he's like you. He just represents the Citadel all over the place now.
Love to meet him. Awesome. Thanks.
And a sponsor of ours, Dr. Bart Wetherington, is also a Citadel graduate. Hey, we got the Citadel all over the place.
My oldest son is dating his daughter. Oops, I said that out loud. There's people listening. I probably just embarrassed him to death.
Well,
Bart's a good guy. I like him.
Keep it in the Citadel family. I like
right.
that.
That's
Go
right.
Bulldogs.
There you go. Cool.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
You don't know who knows who. And I didn't know that his son was dating Dr. Bart's daughter. But, hey, great segue. But get the right advice. I'm only telling you this because I'm a health physical education teacher. And the old model, Chad, is, hey, if you can't teach, just go into health phys ed and be a coach. No, I took all the science courses. I believe in the scientific method. We got to try and find a drug that's going to work consistently. Just don't take this, take that. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't agree with that philosophy. I got a good friend over at Memorial Health. He says the same thing that Dr. Sineath said. We got to do this the right way.
Yeah, we have to. And I mean, we're all trying. I mean, we athletically, we're all in this together. We're all trying to do the best for student athletes, and we're just taking it day by day.
All right. Well, we got our Wetherington. Good segue right there. Our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week waiting in the waiting booth. Unbelievable player. He's been a standout at Calvary Day School since he stepped on the field his freshman year, and he's worked his butt off to be bigger, faster, stronger. It runs in the family because he's related to the Loach family, and it's just great to watch these kids grow up and to see them sign a national letter of intent or commit to a school is special. He was recruited by a lot of schools. He's an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman. He does it all for over there at Calvary Day School. Up next, our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, Fuches Lewis. Other than that, it's the Coach and AD right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, and it's presented by Coach's Corner every Saturday morning. And we also got a couple other sponsors that love what we're doing, and we got to thank them. Hey, Chad, hang out. Don't go anywhere.
Gotcha, man.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running. And it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pump food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dining, lunch, and dinner. But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. And don't forget, Saturday night in the Sound Garden, it's the Beer for My Horses Toby Keith Tribute Show. Tickets are almost sold out and are priced between $20 and $35. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington
New York.
Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room, if you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good Saturday morning. I'm glad you could join us. It's the Coach and AD right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, and it's presented every Saturday morning by Coach's Corner. John Henderson and the crew. Adele, we love you. Thank you for letting us do this. And it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Don't forget, there is another show on the Coach's Corner Sports Network every Wednesday night before we come on with our Wednesday Night Live update is Rubbin' and Grubbin'. They do a great job with NASCAR. Dan Foles, Brandon Baines, Larry Bennett, or Lawrence Bennett. I don't know what he wants me to call him, but don't call him late for dinner because they're grubbing food here every Wednesday night. Great show. Make sure you check them out on YouTube, Facebook, and this show is on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. All right, the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic After the Week. This is where the good kids have done something special, and we get the information about these kids. I know I would love to find time to go out and start grabbing kids left and right, but the coach and AD need your help. We need you to nominate somebody. Get in touch with me. Here's my phone number, 912-507-9158. Text me, email me at kdemasi@prepsportsreport.com, kdemasi@hotmail.com. Get in touch with Coach Griffin on Twitter. Nominate your player. This young man has been a standout football player at Calvary Day School as well as a student. I mean, last year, he goes both ways. 36 tackles, 5 for a loss, 4 sacks. He was first-team All-Region, first-team All-Savannah Morning News. He goes both ways, small school. You got to play Ironman football. He's done a great job. He committed, I think it was 2 weeks ago, to play at Georgia State University, the Panthers. And I'm looking forward to watching this kid play. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner Internet Stream Hotline, not hot seat, okay, senior defensive tackle, offensive tackle, Fuches Lewis. Fuches, thanks for coming on.
How you doing, Coach? How you doing?
Hey, we're having a lot of fun. We're talking sports on a Saturday morning. So, quick question. How relieved are you that you chose a school before the season started?
Man, really, I think really that was a goal for me and my parents. We really talked about and we really talked about we shouldn't be waiting a long time for me to
Fuches, we talked about the recruiting process and obviously the impact that COVID had in the spring. And you were just, you were hampered in the fall. People don't know. You look at that. Fuches probably only got to play in about half the games last year. He had a high ankle sprain. Happened very part of the season. He battled through stuff, tons of rehab just to get back on the field. So his stats were basically in 5 games for us. And just his impact when he's on the field is just different than others. But you worked so hard in the off season and talking to Coach Stroud, and every college coach that he would talk to about you say, listen, this kid's up to 290, but he looks like he's carrying it 260. Imagine what he's going to be like when you get a college program. Talk about, one, the work you did in the downtime, and then also the impact of recruiting within COVID.
Really, I can really say, every time I go into a work, I go with a dominant mindset, 110%. And I feel like my work and my work ethic shows that a lot. And with this whole recruiting and this whole COVID stuff, I would say it's actually been a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of FaceTimes and a lot of phone calls, really, getting to the coaching staff and the facilities and stuff like that.
Fuches, how are you related to the DeLoaches?
Really, I've grown up around Kalen and Jalen, a lot. We're not that far from age, but actually, Coach DeLoach, their father, he really coached me most of my whole life. He coached me in Little League, elementary school, stuff like that. So I can say he's really a family member to me, an uncle to me.
Well, in talking about that, I didn't jump over Karl, but in talking about Mr. DeLoach, gotta talk about the factory. And how, and the impact of that. And you see it all the time. It's not for everyone. All right. And so what we talk about student athletes all the time, it's just not what you do at practice, and what you do at the time you're on campus. From good to great is all the time off campus and extra work and things of that nature. Talk about how the factory has also helped impact you in your growth as a student athlete, both physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm. I would say physique-wise and athletic-wise, the factory's played a large portion in the success I have now. Without them, I feel like I wouldn't be here, and without that little bit of extra work, I wouldn't be in the position where I am now with, a couple of offers and committed to a FBS school.
And you're watching the Coach and AD right out here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. Well, we go live every Saturday from Coach's Corner. Got to thank John Henson for supporting us, for presenting the show. Okay, Fuches, I watched a couple of highlights on, of course, the internet. I saw you throw a baseball. If you could play any other sport besides football, what would you play?
Man, really, honestly, I couldn't see myself playing another sport, but it would have to be baseball because I think maybe I can't remember the last time I actually suited up for baseball. Would have to be maybe seventh grade, 6th grade. So yeah.
Throwing a baseball. So you play offensive line, you play defensive line. Which one do you like more? I'm losing my voice here, Chad. And what would you consider your best skill on the football field?
Oh, well, I would say my best skill would have to be my power. And, I really enjoy defensive line a lot more than offensive line. Why?
Because you get to beat people?
Yeah, that too. And really, I like tackling a lot more than just blocking. Yes, sir.
Well, Fuches, you're very good at both of it. And Coach Stroud talks about, when he talks to college coaches and other people about you, he always talks about your like you said, your explosiveness. I mean, your hips are so explosive, and I think that's a big part of what makes you successful. Also, I want to talk about, Calvary's changing a little bit defensive scheme this year. From a 4-3 to a 3-4. How's that? How do you like that? And what do you think the advantages are of moving to 3-4, and how it's going to impact you?
Really, I wouldn't say it was going to impact me. I think it will impact a lot of the younger guys too, like Jalen Scott, Terry, the linebackers too, Troy, Greg. I think it allows us to move more and to be more aggressive than we were last year, and I think that's really good. And it's also preparing me because that's what Georgia State defense runs too.
Well, we know you're an excellent football player and you do outstanding stuff. Tell us something that people don't know about Fuches Lewis.
Man, really, I don't know. I don't think you guys know a lot, but I would have to say I'm the oldest out of 4. I have a younger brother, Langston. He goes to high school. He's 16. Younger brother, Emerson, he's 11. He goes to Marsh Point. Then I have a younger sister, Ava. She's 7. She also goes to Marsh Point.
Well, the other thing that people probably don't know is that Fuches' mom is also a principal, so there's no slacking in the academic department in that household, because you can't come home and your mom's a principal, and there's going to be no question about the academic standards in the Lewis household. And leading into that, Fuches, talk about what your family has meant to you through this whole process, the support they're giving you, from your mom on the academic side, your dad and your family, how supportive they've been, and just growing up in that environment and what that's meant.
Really, Coach Griffin, honestly couldn't be here without my family. I think my family put a major part in my decisions and how they've guided me throughout life, and including my extended Calvary family, the coaches, and how much they showed me what dedication and hard work get you in life.
You're watching a Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach and AD, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We're here from Coach's Corner, our proud sponsor. All right, Fuches, tell the fans or the people that are listening what it's been like to attend Calvary and to play football at Calvary.
Really well. The past 4 years for me, they've been probably the best 4 years of my life, playing high school football. If you really want to play football and have a real family type atmosphere with you, should think Calvary.
Well, and talking about that, you've had, like I said, a lot of impactful coaches in your life, starting youth fall through middle school and high school. Tell us a little bit about what's like, playing for Coach Stroud and what that's been like.
I would have to say, Coach Stroud, he emphasizes a lot. It's bigger than football. There's really a life other than football. It's not just football. It's about your faith, your academics, and your family, and multiple other things like that. So I would have to give props for Coach Stroud for that. He always tells us that it's bigger than football.
And you're listening to Fuches Lewis, our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. All right, tell us about Georgia State University. What made you choose or commit to that school?
I have to say, back again to Coach Stroud, the major factor for it was that Georgia State's right in the middle of Atlanta, a big metropolitan city, and, it's a good opportunity for life after football. And
talking about life after football, Fuches, what was that goal look for you academically while you're at Georgia State? And what is your goal after football or after your time at Georgia State?
Everybody dreams of playing in the NFL, but I have a plan if that doesn't work out. So right now, I plan on majoring in sports administration with a modern education, and probably pursuing, getting on the coaching staff, after my football time's over.
All right, to finish this up, for me, my last question is: we got younger football players or younger student athletes looking up to Fuches Lewis. What kind of advice would you give them as far as reaching that dream, going on to play at the next level? What would you tell them they would have to do to be successful like you?
Really don't, you really can't be denied. Do not let anybody deny you. Work your tail off no matter what. If nobody's paying attention, have that integrity and always give 110%, shoot for the stars and for the moon type thing. So always give 110% no matter what, and you'll get what you need and get what you want in the end.
Well, and that's exactly, Fuches. We're so proud of you. Won at Calvary. Not just your football accolades, just the human being you are. And I think that's the thing I love. I get to see Fuches every morning. He's usually back in my outer office, getting his breakfast. There's a recliner back there that's got his name on it. He might have to take it with him to college when he leaves, because he's probably lived in it the last 4 years. And just your dedication, your passion, your love for what you do, Fuches, and that's great advice to young student athletes. It's going to be, it's going to be all the work that goes into it. And like I said, man, we're so proud of you. We're looking forward to your senior year. And like I said, no matter what happens with COVID or anything, the human being you are, you made tremendous impact, more off the football field than even on, man. So we appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Fuches, great job. I get to hang out with Langston over at Islands. He's got a good role model in you. Keep up the great work, and thanks for coming on, and go Cavaliers.
Yes, sir. No doubt. Thank you.
You're going to have to say go Panthers pretty soon, too. You know that.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you.
Thanks, Fuches.
Just a great kid. I mean, he's humble. He's quiet. I can see he's a quiet leader. I mean, he's done a great job on the football field. He's got to have great grades to get where he wants to go. Just a pleasure having him on. And once again, you got a student athlete like that, let us know. We want to bring him on.
Yeah, his what separates him, and he said it, is your work ethic. What you do in the times you just can't do it while you're at school or in the weight room at school. It's the extra stuff that's going to get you where you want to go in life. And that's all, of course. It doesn't matter if it's football or if you're in a computer programming or whatever. You got to spend time on it to get better at it. And he's definitely put the time in and changed his body. And like I said, he's just a humble, great young man. And we're looking forward to great things. Hopefully his senior year, than more than anything else, is his time at Georgia State. Okay.
Next up, my voice is going here. I don't know why, but this lady has been a big part of the Savannah Bananas. She is co-owner of the Savannah Bananas. She probably runs the whole show. She's probably the boss of the Cole family, but we don't hear about that because that guy in the yellow tux is all over the place. But she does a great job at what she does. We're proud to have her on. We want to talk about female in sports and a co-owner or an owner of a sports team, and that's right here in Savannah, Georgia, the Savannah Bananas co-owner, Emily Cole. She's up next. She's always going banana. We have to thank our sponsors. You're listening to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach and AD on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be right back after this. 3 minutes, Emily. 3 minutes.
Get it, Lawson.
It's all sports, all time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running. And it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pump food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in, lunch, and dinner. But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Henderson and Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. And don't forget, Saturday night in the Soundgarden, it's the Beer for My Horses Toby Keith Tribute Show. Tickets are almost sold out and are priced between $20 and $35. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So Come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone, capiche? If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New
Wetherington
York.
Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good Saturday morning. I'm glad you could join us. It's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, presented every Saturday morning on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. It's on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, you name it, we're on it. It's been about 19 shows now, and it's been a lot of fun every Saturday morning with the coach, Chad Griffin. Hey, Chad, our next guest is something special.
Yeah, having the other call-in, the one that really runs the show. This coach, she's not out there in a yellow tux, doesn't mean it's not getting done. You know, and we talked about this before. I'm so excited to have Emily on, talk about, you know, their background, her history within athletics, and also being a female owner of a professional sports team or collegiate sports team is going to be a big deal for us.
Well, just so you know, prior to working with Fans First Entertainment with her better half, Jessie Cole, Emily spent time with the Ripken Baseball and the Augusta Green Jackets, minor league baseball, as well as, if you didn't notice, great nickname, the Vermont Lake Monsters and the Binghamton Mets. Okay, she's from SUNY Oneonta. I know how to pronounce that. I can't mess that up. Okay, and she's got a degree in marketing and of course public relations. She works full time with the Savannah Banana staff. She's behind the scenes. They got a little sun right now, but she does a great job. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner Internet Hotline is no other than the co-owner of the Savannah Bananas, Emily Cole. Emily, thanks for coming on.
Hi, guys.
Well, it's great to have you on. We know that Jessie gets a lot of publicity because of that yellow tux. Yeah. Hey, but behind every good man is a great lady. You're doing a great job.
Yes, right alongside him is what he always says, not behind him. But yeah, it's been fun with him. You know, we kind of play to our strengths. He is the outgoing marketing show guy, and I'm more operational, logistical minded. So it just works that we both kind of run separate areas of the ballpark.
Well, that's usually how it is in life in general. You try to find someone that is better than you of what your weaknesses are, and that's, you know, and that's, I think that's where Karl will tell you. That's why we marry who we marry, because we marry the parts that we are not very good at. Sure. And but talking about you and you guys, we know the story about how you got to Savannah, but tell everybody like how you got into baseball, the baseball operations standpoint, and how that mitigated into this.
Yeah, so of course, a lot of people automatically assume that I met Jesse, fell in love, and joined his venture. But really, I grew up in upstate New York. I had 3 brothers, and so our whole family was an athletic family. And, you know, studying in college, the communications, the PR, the marketing, that stuff was all great, but I didn't want to just go sit at a desk. That wasn't my personality. And so I fortunately found a spot in sports. I was working actually full time for a marketing company and was not enjoying the 9 to 5. But then I got a part-time job with the Binghamton Mets, and I loved that 5 to 11. And so I said, you know what, I think I want to shift into this. And so that's when I joined Ripken Baseball, and I worked for them for a few years. I started with their Aberdeen franchise and then moved to Augusta, Georgia to help build up that franchise. And so I had 5 or 6 years of experience in the industry before even meeting Jesse. It was baseball that brought us together. Ironically, my boss with Ripken heard Jesse speaking at a seminar, and she walked outside and she called me and she said, I met the guy you're going to marry. And sure enough, she was right on, because we were just so like-minded in that it wasn't necessarily about baseball. It was about the community. It was about taking care of our fans. And so she knew we had the right mindset. And so we just connected professionally. And that's when I was in Augusta, Georgia. I did work in Vermont, like you mentioned, for a couple of years. And Jesse and I just stayed in touch, and then re-met at a minor league baseball promo seminar, and the rest is history.
I just tweeted that you're the real boss. I don't know why it popped up on the screen here, but I'm going to keep it there because I don't know how to get it off. But this is all new to me. I'm learning about
I like seeing it. That's okay.
So my question to you is, like Chad said, you don't hear about many females on the ownership side of sports teams, whether it's the Coastal Plain League, minor league baseball. Tell us what it's like being part owner of a franchise. And you also got the Gastonia team too, right?
Yeah. So I think, first of all, there's this pressure for kids to kind of have their life mapped out for them when they're choosing college. And I had no idea that this was in my future. I knew I wanted to pursue athletics and communications and being in front of people. And so that has just kind of built into owning the team. I never dreamed of owning a team. So I think that that's something important, to just follow your dreams and then see where it goes. We are fortunate to be young and in the position that we are. We took on a lot of debt. We took a lot of risks at a young age together to do it. And so I know that the position we're in, we don't take that lightly, but it's not something that I necessarily saw myself doing, owning a team, but now it's just, of course it's natural. But taking a step further, half of our front office is made up of females. Yes. And so anybody can get into this industry and can start in any position and build up to wherever they want to, however far they want to go with it. But yeah, we did start out with the Gastonia, North Carolina franchise. We actually did sell the majority of that team recently. We do have a son now, and we were just pushing ourselves a little bit too far and spreading ourselves thin. And we always wanted to put family first. And Savannah had just grown to a size that we had not imagined. So we are just small minority owners of that team now, and are fully focused really on Savannah.
Emily, in talking about that, talk about what opportunities are out there. What are you seeing for females in sports that's grown in the last, let's say, 3 to 5 years since you guys have really got here, Savannah? What does that look like, and what do you see the future hold for female ownership in sports?
It might just be blind optimism by me, but I don't see male or female. We get applications for a job, and it's truly just personality and skill. It doesn't matter where they've come from or what they've done. In fact, many of our interns and people who start with us don't necessarily have college degrees. And in many industries, that is definitely required. If you're going to be my doctor, I want you to have gone through schooling. But with us, it's different. With us, it's, hey, are you going to be okay with 90-hour weeks and getting your hands dirty and putting on a smile and putting other people before you? And so it really just is the personality that comes to us, and we try to evaluate that. We try to do a lot of internships where people kind of get their hands wet before they dive into the industry. But the females out there have just as many opportunities, I think, as anybody else. You just need to prove yourself and that you can work with the position, and really anybody can be anything.
And you're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live on Facebook, Coach's Corner Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. We're here with the co-owner of the Savannah Bananas, Emily Cole. Of course, we know Mr. Yellow Tuxedo, Jesse Cole, but Emily's got the other half. She took a big chance with Jesse to make this franchise work. I got to tell you this. It's Gastonia's loss that you're a minority owner. But I got to tell you one thing. And you said you were burning the candle at both ends. How do you handle Jesse, the Savannah Bananas, Maverick, your son, taking care of a household and being a big part of this show?
Yeah, we've really taken a different approach since Maverick, our son, was born. We were pushing ourselves really hard for about 10 to 12 years in the industry, both separately. And then when we came together in about 2011, we started working together officially. And so once we had Maverick, our priorities just changed. The team, of course, and the community is always going to be family for us, but having a son really made us learn that the company couldn't be owner dependent anymore. And so you guys know Jared Orton, our president, and we are so fortunate to have him. Gosh, he has done just as much as Jesse and I have for this team, probably more. And then a couple of our other leaders, Marie Gentry and Barry Aldridge, Patrick Briotti. I mean, we have people who have been with us since we started the franchise. And so we've been very fortunate and very grateful to be able to take a step back. I mean, it's a game day right now, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm at our house because we've committed to being home with Maverick in the mornings and then going in the afternoons. And the only reason that we can do that is because there are leaders in our organization who we fully trust to make all of the decisions that we would make, and they're there running the team. And so I think that's really important for any owner or any leader, is to find other people whom you trust. And Jesse and I have really learned to take a step back and to say it's okay that we're not a part of every single decision. You know, we've worked with these guys for years. Their brains work the way ours work now. And so we don't have to make those decisions. We fully trust the things that they do. And we come in later and they kind of tell us what's going on. So very grateful to have people like that surrounding us so that we can balance, you know, family and work.
Chad, before your next question, did you hear what she said? You know, she's from New York, because she said, these guys, you gotta love it.
Yeah, these guys for sure. And that's one thing, Emily, you know, did you guys ever, I mean, I'm sure you knew you guys had something special, but did you ever know or think it was going to explode like this, you know, on the collegiate wooden bat scene? I mean, you know, we've had Team in Savannah for years and years and years, and just, you know, just what couldn't work, franchise in and out, and you guys come along, and I truly believe success is built on culture. And the culture you guys have created with fans first. But do you even see it at this level when you guys first got started into this?
No, it was a very bleak start. When we first came, if you guys remember, I mean, we were not welcomed necessarily by a lot of people. And it took a lot of things for the community to shift. Fortunately, they have, I want to say 100% shifted, and we get so much support from so many different people.
Relentless.
Yes, relentless. That's what it was. You know, we just believed in, you know, we believed that Savannah would come around to, you know, the product that we were going to put on the field and the atmosphere at the ballpark if they could just see it. So that first off season when we first came in 2015 was tough because people didn't know us, but we stuck with it, and then we kind of proved what we were providing, I think, and fortunately fans have just fully embraced it. But yeah, it's at a size now that we could never have imagined. I mean, the amount of merchandise and media that we do all over the world is just, it's still surreal to us. So we're very grateful, and the whole team every day, just we keep each other grounded because we know it wasn't like this in the beginning.
And I'm going to give you a big compliment here. I'm a baseball fanatic. I get up early. I'm an old guy, so I can't sleep anymore. I watch Korean baseball probably every morning. And I don't know if it was yesterday or Thursday, they were talking to the Bull Durham front office guys. And you know what? He actually said this, not making it up, and it caught my ear right away. He says, we got to do something like the team down in Savannah is doing, the Savannah Bananas. Wow. We got to make this more fun for our fans. You guys are all over the place. I mean, that's got to be special to you and Jesse.
It is. It's crazy. I mean, obviously we're not traveling a lot now, but Jesse does a lot of speeches all over the world. And, you know, we'll just get on an airplane or be in an airport in another country, and there's people with banana t-shirts on. And it still makes us look twice a couple of times, and we see it all the time. So we're grateful and still so proud of the fact that it has spread and become, you know, an international thing.
It's great. Coach?
Yeah, my last thing, it's been great to see you guys overcome the COVID-19. I don't think we ever overcome it, but what you guys have put in place and still how you're handling it. I know 2,000 is not the same as 4,000, but what you've been able to do, I think it was so important for you guys, and we got to talk to Jared early on, is to have this for the Savannah community, to feel some sign. You know, people become almost dependent on Savannah Bananas baseball during the summer. It is a tradition now. It's a pastime. And people look forward to this just like Christmas. All right, Savannah Bananas baseball kicks off. It's just like Christmas Day. And that's how you guys make it feel. And so I know the community has appreciate that, and the obstacles you guys have overcome night in, night out to make sure you're able to still do that has been phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, it was a tough spring for everybody, and we didn't know exactly where it was going to go, but we were able to pivot. And I think that that's important for any company, is to just be quick and be able to pivot. And so while we can't necessarily entertain a lot of people in our ballpark, we've really stepped up our streaming, and we have this Bananas Insiders now, where we have 6 cameras each night showing the shots, and people are signing up for that and getting as much of the experience as they can from the safety of their own home. And so no matter how people feel comfortable, we wanted to still provide that fun outlet. We wanted to be that relief for people. And so we're grateful that we were able to kind of move and shift and still have a season, because we know that so many people do depend on it.
I got one question, not related to what the Bananas do, but at home, is Jesse just as fun as he is in the stadium?
He is. People think he's crazy sometimes, but he is so giving and so fun and energetic. I mean, he gets up at 5 o'clock every day and runs miles and miles, even if he's up till 2 a.m. working. He's just a ball of energy, and really an amazing asset to any family or community. So we really are lucky to have him. I know it sounds cheesy, but he's my husband, my best friend, my partner, and he's really awesome.
Now, do you have any of those qualities?
I try to keep up with him, that's for sure. But yeah.
Well, Emily, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you're part of what Savannah needed. And way back when you guys came out with Savannah Bananas, I loved it. I know other people didn't love it,
yes.
But the community loves what you guys are doing. You're making baseball fun. Hey, I'm a baseball purist. You put a good product on the field, these kids can play baseball. The coaching staff is very knowledgeable, and it's just a lot of fun to be part of Savannah Bananas. And someday you're going to say, hey, we did that in Savannah. Hopefully that was our idea, and it's going a long way up into the major league ballparks.
Thank you so much. That means a lot, guys.
And once again, thank you for being on, and we appreciate you guys, and we definitely appreciate Savannah Banana Baseball and what that means to Savannah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
As you like to say, and Jesse, and probably Maverick says it now, the first thing probably in his mouth wasn't Mama, Dad, it was Banana. But
yes.
Go Bananas.
Go Bananas.
Thanks, Em. I mean, just a great product. They got people loving baseball. I know you and I like watching the game, and we like the strategy, but watching what goes on before the game, during the game, after the game, it makes baseball fun. And you know what? I know. That's one of my questions later on for you. So we'll do that on our next segment when we go 3 steps out the door. But your analysis of Emily Cole?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's like everything else they do. It's first class. They truly care about the community they're involved in. They care about their players, how they do things. And that's why, when we talk to Jared, is like, you see all these players want to come back and play in Savannah and play for this group because they make baseball fun. Every kid that starts playing baseball, they play it because it's fun, not because it's a job or work. And you know how it is when it gets to college. It is a job. It is work. And coaches, lose their jobs or get jobs because of wins and losses. And the fact that these college kids can just take a deep breath, come into your summer. Some of them have their best stats ever because they're just in it. And they take that back to fall ball, and they take that back to college because they've just embraced this idea of what that means to have fun and play baseball again.
Hey, you get to sing and dance. You get to romance the people in the stands with flowers. You got the nanas. You got the nana-nanas. I mean, every age is included, and the players are a big part of it too. And my opinion, I think, like you just said, any kid that comes in here loves the fan first, the Savannah Bananas philosophy and culture, and that's a big kudos to Emily and Jesse Cole. Well, next up, we got to get out the door. We're going to take 3 steps out the door. Hey, Chad, we're not off here, right? We're on time, it looks like.
It's early.
And you're watching the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And we got to thank Coach's Corner for being our presenting sponsor. We got to thank the other sponsors of the show, because without them, this couldn't happen either. So stay back, watch. We'll be back in 3 minutes. And like I like to say, forget about it, y'all.
It's all sports, all time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running. And it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pump food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner, but remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. And don't forget, Saturday night in the Sound Garden, it's the Beer for My Horses Toby Keith Tribute Show. Tickets are almost sold out and are priced between $20 and $35. As always, make it a night reading member at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's has got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good Saturday morning, sports fans. It's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Court right here from Coach's Corner. While I'm here, Coach is on a road trip watching his boy play baseball, and it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Got to thank the guests talking about COVID-19 and kids in sports, Dr. Marty Sineath from Memorial Health University Medical Center. Great job. I mean, the guy had a great perspective, Chad.
Yeah, talking about, there's risk in everything. There's risk in athletics. There's risk in, non-athletics. And so it's how we can best mitigate those risks to get our student athletes back on the field and get them, and playing is the biggest thing. They also talk about the mental health perspective of our student athletes playing. And like you said, I thought he had a great commentary about the risk factor. There's a risk in everything, and we're just going to try to mitigate the best we can and push forward.
And, of course, we got to thank Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete Week. Of course, Dr. Bart Wetherington. I didn't know him and Dr. Sineath had a little connection there, but we won't announce that again. But, Dr. Bart, love you, man. Thank you for doing this with me since day one. Fuches Lewis, rising senior, Calvary Day School, just committed to play at Georgia State University. Great kid, great upbringing, dedicated. Mom's an educator. Dad's a big force behind his life. Fuches Lewis, great kid, and must be a great kid on that campus over there.
Oh, he is without a doubt. I mean, he's a big human being, so you can't miss him. 2, he always has a smile on his face, and he's always going to talk to you no matter what or where you're going, whether you're in class, walking to class. He's just always smiling, always talking. It's just how his personality, man. So we've been blessed to have him here at Calvary.
And, of course, Savannah Bananas. They've done good. They do what they do. They do it very well. It's a great show. Jesse Cole, we all know he's the guy out in front with the yellow tux. He's the man behind, what goes on. But he also has help. Not a lady that's behind him, but a lady that's alongside of him. She's just as much part of the Savannah Bananas and it was great talking to Emily Cole. I mean, females in sports, it's a big deal right now. And, you know, Amy Zimmer from JCL, and we got Lindsay Goff from WTOC, who's just had a serious case of the COVID-19 virus that she's getting well with. Females are a big part of sports now, and you just got to be happy that she's a big part of what we do here in this community. You know, Jessie and her have set a really, really big-time culture over there at Grayson Stadium.
Well, one thing like I really like that she says, like, hey, they don't look about male, female. It's like personality and fit. And that's a great attitude to have. It's like, hey, if you got the right personality and you're really willing to work 90 hours a week and roll up your sleeves and get dirty, that's the culture they want to create. And what they're trying, what they have and continue to do, you know, here in Savannah, and providing people opportunities with internships. Like, if you really want to get into us, there's opportunities. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from her is like, hey, there's plenty of opportunities out there. If females want to get involved, just a matter of getting involved.
And don't forget, you know, we're here every Saturday morning. It's part of the Coaches Sports Network. Wednesday night, we got Rubbin' and Grubbin' NASCAR show. Great show. It's Facebook Live again, YouTube Live, Twitter Live with Dan Foles, Brandon Baines, and, of course, Lawrence Bennett. Great show. Check that out. We come on right after that. So, John Henderson, hey, Chad, I'm telling you, when you come back, you don't have to do this running around. It's beautiful in here, baby. It's beautiful.
I found some shade after the first segment, and I've been stuck here, which is good. And I might stay here once this is over because it's been shade, and it's only about 30 yards to the field, so I got a good viewpoint right here. So I might just anchor down, but it's still a little hot, a little humid, and definitely not like it feels ice cold inside Coach's Corner right now. Hey,
has the Boyd played yet? Hayes taking the field?
Yeah, they're probably in about the fourth inning right now, and so they got another game immediately following this one. So it'd be a long day at the ballpark, but man, any day at the ballpark's a good one,
especially with your son.
Without a doubt, man.
All right, 3 steps out the door. Okay. This is where we take 3 topics off the wall and we try to break it down. We take turns each week asking each other. First question, if you could be any baseball player in history, who would it be and why?
Ooh, any baseball player in history. Well, I tell you, growing up, my favorite player was obviously Dale Murphy. You know, any Braves fan during that area growing up, it was Dale Murphy. I wore his number 3. Every time I could put on number 3, didn't matter what sport it was. If I was playing soccer, if I was playing basketball or whatever, it was Dale Murphy. I think it's just that quiet confidence that he had and just the way he carried himself. And my dad always talks about him. But also, I tell you who my dad loved, and every article my dad would cut out. I know he got a rap with the gambling part, but Mr. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose, he's like, listen, if you can hustle and have a work ethic like that all the time, then you're going to be on the field. And so between Dale Murphy's just humbleness and the way he carried himself and Charlie Hustle all out, all the time, 100%, those were the people that, when I was growing up, that my dad's like, hey, be like these guys.
Hey, you did it with me with chicken sandwiches. You got to pick one.
I'm going Dale Murphy then. Murphy, without doubt.
All right. If you could play any position on the baseball field, what would it be, and why would you pick that position?
I'd be pitcher because it's one thing I could not do. I think I've told this story before. I begged and begged and begged. I played second base growing up all through T-ball, little league, whatever. Then a little bit of first base in the junior high. Really, first and second base was my thing. And I begged my little league coach, probably about Hayes' age, a little bit younger, maybe 11, begged him to let me pitch one game. Begged him, come on, coach, let me pitch. And I threw, it was like Bo Durham out there. I was Nuke LaLoosh, and it was all over the place. And the coach came out, took the ball from me, gave me a little pat on the back, and said, son, that's why you play second base. I was like, no problem. I get it. He let me try to fulfill what I wanted to do. And also, and that's kind of thing with coaching. Like, you got to give your kids a little chance to see if they succeed or fail. And I was like, thanks, coach. I appreciate the effort. And all right, I'm not a pitcher. And so I realized early on it just wasn't in my DNA. But fortunately, my son got his DNA, his mental makeup, and his ability to pitch from his mama, not from his dad. That's for sure.
All right. Now, we know your favorite player is Dale Murphy, okay? But let's take Hall of Fame baseball players. Dale Murphy should be in, but he has to be in.
Yeah.
If you could sit down and talk to one baseball Hall of Famer, who would it be and why?
I would say Jackie Robinson. And, I've read a lot of his books, autobiography, his time, but just the mental makeup. And as a coach, we talk about the mental aspect of stuff, just the mental makeup he had to have going through what he went through and, coming onto the scene, not being wanted, had to win his teammates over, and he had to do it with his attitude, his play on the field, all these other things, and just what that was like. And if he was alive today, what advice he would give to people. And I think at times we lose people in generations that would have helped us so much, so tremendously through certain situations. And he's definitely someone over the years, whether it was Abraham Lincoln, that if you had to pick your round table of people to have at dinner, Jackie Robinson would definitely be that guy. Just explain to us, how do you make it through things when things are not going your way?
I mean, he gave up baseball because they were going to tell him where he was going to play, and he said, no, I want to play here, and I'm going to finish out my career here. So the man was right way back when of course, equality and, rights and all that stuff was a big issue here in the United States. And, he would be one person I'd love to sit down and just talk life and sports with. It would be a boy from Cairo, Georgia, that went out to California, made a name for himself. He would be one person I'd like to talk to also. Yeah. All right, so got a lot going on this week. Georgia High School, Georgia Independent School Association, SCISA, volleyball, softball, cross country, cheerleading, football. Football's already begun. Start tomorrow, Monday. We got a lot of work to do. The AD and the AD, the coach and coach, and we'll have some great guests for you next week. And once again, enjoy what you're doing, Coach, because it goes too quick. And I wish I could have those days back. Every time Dom gets a chance to play, I'm still living a dream like he was just that 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid way back when. So it goes too quick, buddy.
Well, it looks like you get a couple more times maybe here at the end of summer. We can tease on that later and get to watch him play. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the role models that I have around me as fathers to look at the time they've got to spend with their sons and daughters and all through. So, yeah, man, blessed to do it. Glad to be on the show once again. And, man, 19 weeks have gone quick. And love doing this every Wednesday and Saturday with you. And like we remind the people again, hey, if you got a student athlete, you got a topic you want us to cover, let us know. We'll get them on. And that's what we want to do is local sports, local kids all the time.
And don't forget my other passion, the Prep Sports Report, new website. I want to blow the kids up there too. And it's free. You'll never have to pay to read a story about a local kid, a local coach, or a local sport. Go check it out, theprepsportsreport.com. Got to thank Stephen Elmo Weeks for revamping that whole website. Hey, I can't do it all. I'm going to need some help. For this show, for that media outlet, help me out, send me some stuff. But remember, every Saturday morning, we try to stay to that 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. time slot, but it doesn't work.
Forget about it, y'all. Forget about it.
Hey, there's my Southern boy. Forget about it, okay? On Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, it's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's all sports, all local, all the time on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you may be doing. Hit it out of the park, and may next week be your best week ever. We're out of here. We got to take this home. Chad, remember, be safe, God bless, and wash those hands.
Hunker down, man. There's a storm coming. Hunker down.
Hey, it's always nice to get a little wet. Talk to you later.
All right, man. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Bye.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's.
Wrong commercial. Wrong ending.